All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Pennell with Urban Design Partners. We are all gathering today over this virtual meeting to discuss rezoning petition 2022-070. We've been referring to this zoning petition as Liberty Crossing Mixed Use. It is a petition that has been filed by Carter Acquisitions, LLC. And again, I'm Paul Pennell with Urban Design Partners, representing the petitioner as the petitioning agent on this particular rezoning plan. Tonight, we're going to go through a bit of information related to this petition to hopefully provide a little bit of clarity to the community on what is being proposed here and to answer any questions that attendees tonight may have regarding this petition. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. So what you're looking at here is actually an existing image of the site today, just to provide a little bit of context along Old Statesville Road. We'll jump here to the next slide. A little bit of housekeeping before we really jump in. If anybody tonight has any questions that they would like to have answered at the end of this presentation, please feel free to type in the chat box any questions that you may have. It'll bring up a prompt to type in whatever question you may have, and at the end of the presentation, we'll go through those questions and make sure we get everything addressed. At the end, once we've answered all the questions, we'll go ahead and go off mute and try and have as orderly as possible a question and answer session if there are any additional questions that need to be answered. All right, so Carter Acquisitions out of Atlanta. Jack Murphy has joined us today. Jack, if you'd like to provide a little bit of an introduction as to who y'all are and what you do and your interest in Charlotte, that would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like Paul said, we're Carter. We're a locally owned private development company located in Atlanta, Georgia. We've got about 30 or so folks at the company, and we've been around for 64 years, I believe, at this point. So we've done a lot of various types of development over the course of over 6 decades. Most recently, we have a lot of experience developing multifamily projects, everything from suburban areas to downtown urban cores and everything in between. So really excited for this project in Charlotte. This will hopefully be our second project that we develop in the Charlotte area. And I don't want to steal any of your thunder, Paul, if you're going to talk a little bit more about the site plan, but it'll be a mix of 3- and 4-story buildings with surface parking, units ranging from studios, 1s, 2s, 3 beds, and then a little bit of retail and some single family for sale townhomes. So I'm sure Paul will get into all of that, but long story short, we're very excited to be in Charlotte and to hopefully develop this project.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. All right, just to provide a little bit of context on the location of the zoning petition and the sites. The site's approximately, it's just over 31 acres. It's 31.41 acres located just south of Interstate 485 on the north side of town, right along Old Statesville Road on the west side of Old Statesville Road. If you're really familiar, it's at the intersection on the opposite side of the intersection of Old Statesville Road and Independence Hill Road. Some people may be familiar. This is a little bit of an old aerial, but some people may be familiar with the new Amazon distribution facility. This facility has been developed directly south of the site. We've got this addressed actually on a site plan rendering, so we'll show you approximately where that is related to the site, but just wanted to let everybody know where this 31-acre site is located. So the city of Charlotte breaks up an overall land use of what they see as appropriate for areas in the city of Charlotte, what they need to be zoned and what development is appropriate for on parcels of land. And at this particular location, city of Charlotte has historically, we'll get into some more detail here, has historically seen this site as a transit-oriented mixed-use site. Years ago, the city of Charlotte had identified that the existing rail line here running north-south would be appropriate for future light rail line that was referred to as the red line. Those plans have changed in recent years. I do not believe that the red line is planned anytime soon. However, the more intense transit-oriented mixed use here was deemed appropriate. This information was actually codified within the North Lake Area Plan. Our site located here, you've got Old Statesville Road. The site that we're referring to is right underneath this A here, in which it promotes a mixture of transit-oriented uses, including residential, office, and retail, which is generally located to the west of the proposed station. The station itself was actually originally located along Arthur Davis Drive here with this red elongated rectangle. More specifically, site plan had been completed. The site is located here at this number 3 to encourage more of an employment component within the transit-oriented mix of land uses, further from the core of the station area, particularly adjacent to the surrounding industrial areas and the proximity to I-485. So this was the old plan. Things have changed a little bit in the city of Charlotte recently. You guys may be familiar with the UDO, the Unified Development Ordinance, the 2040 Comprehensive Plan, and the 2040 Policy Map. So to get into that in a little bit more detail, the 2040 Comprehensive Plan is a living document that provides a policy framework that will guide the city of Charlotte's decision-making in both the near and long term. So basically what that means is, over time, our land use plans at the city of Charlotte have grown old and antiquated. And moving forward, as the city of Charlotte has continued to grow, the city of Charlotte is trying to keep up with these development patterns. And in doing so, the city of Charlotte has adopted a new policy map for place types, place types is a fancy new word for zoning districts, future zoning districts, and also a new UDO. A new UDO, Unified Development Ordinance, has been approved and will be moving forward on June 1st, 2023, where the city will actually undergo a full rezoning for a new zoning ordinance and new zoning districts. So the policy map, which is a continuation of input from the community and the planning department, will basically identify appropriate development areas and the future zoning districts for locations throughout the city of Charlotte. This particular site has been identified as appropriate as a community activity center. Now, what exactly is a community activity center? Well, community activity centers are fairly dense areas in the city of Charlotte that are transitioning from automobile-centric oriented uses to a more walkable, connected, moderate intensity retail, restaurant, entertainment, offices, and personal service uses, including some residential uses. Zoning district standards will allow for greater flexibility in design and site elements such as parking and the amount of parking, location, and accommodating multiple modes of transportation that include walking, bicycling, and automobile. As you can see here, this is a form-based code. So the Unified Development Ordinance is form-based. And basically what it does, as you break up individual parcels on a site, it will basically dictate your height of building, your building massing, and where your parking needs to be located on site. So while we have been taking some cues from the new UDO, we are actually, as far as a land use and what is deemed appropriate here, in terms of timing, we're actually using a zoning district here that is an existing zoning district, and that is a MUD CD district. So we're following the Community Activity Center design guidelines while using the MUD district as our actual zoning district that we're requesting at this time. We wanted to provide just some context of visual context of what is appropriate for community activity center development. These are multi-story residential buildings, commercial, retail, office. Just wanted to provide some visual context. So as is with every zoning petition in the city of Charlotte, multiple considerations need to be considered moving forward with petitions. So existing site conditions. Of course, in this case, as we've talked about, the new Unified Development Ordinance that's coming. The North Lake Area Plan, access requirements, and this actually is true for pedestrian access and vehicular access. Community input, which we're gathering tonight during our community meeting. Residential density and commercial uses, this is really more in the vein of, from a development pro forma standpoint, what will work from a community investment standpoint. Land is expensive, and due to the cost of land, what is being proposed here financially needs to make sense for development. The proposed zoning district, again, here at this particular location, mixed use development MUD CD district is what we're requesting. Existing environmental features, traffic impacts, pedestrian safety, proposed green space and open space on site, and also proposed amenity areas on site as well. So let's go ahead and jump on into the proposed zoning site plan, which we have sent in. This is the technical data sheet. It breaks the site up into multiple development envelopes. These development envelopes 1 through 5 basically identify what will be developed within each of these individual areas. These areas are broken up by proposed City of Charlotte rights of way for future public streets and private streets as well. So the site plan itself. So what's being proposed within these existing 2 tax parcels are a mix of uses. So within this particular zoning petition, we're proposing 30 for sale single family attached residential units. It's a fancy way of explaining townhomes. So 30 townhomes on site, up to 360 multifamily residential units. These are apartment units on site. 7 buildings, it's what's being proposed. And then also 2 separate non-residential uses. So we've got up to 25,200 square feet of retail and commercial uses, primarily located directly adjacent Old Statesville Road. And then also up to 20,000 square feet of office uses directly adjacent Old Statesville Road as well. We'll go ahead and jump to a site plan rendering here that will provide a little bit more context of what's being proposed. So we've got Old Statesville Road here running north-south, existing Independence Hill Road here running kind of swinging in kind of awkwardly here at an acute angle coming in and making the connection to Old Statesville Road. We're proposing a new Liberty Crossing Drive. This will be a public street. And then we've got Independence Hill Road extension, which will eventually make a connection with Independence Hill Road when it is eventually realigned with the new state, or not, well, not new, but it's been around for a while, North Carolina NCDOT State Road Improvement Project that's being proposed at this location. On site, we're also identifying tree save areas, green space, and also stormwater detention ponds on site as well, indicated by these blue areas. So Carter has done plenty of development in the past. We wanted to provide some precedent images of the quality of the types of residential development that they do. Wanted to identify that this is actually a fairly significant investment within the community for residential product. Really above market rate residential community for outdoor amenity spaces, indoor gathering spaces, outdoor pool areas, individual residential units, and also workout and recreation facilities on site as well. So this is actually going to be a quite nice facility. It's been something that has been envisioned and hoped for quite some time within the North Lake area plan, and hopefully with a zoning approval will be codified, approved, and will be moving forward. So regarding timing of the zoning petition, again, tonight we're holding on October 4th our community meeting. We see the public hearing due to a traffic study is being completed. So we're being a little bit delayed by that. There's some traffic studies that need to be completed and discussed with CDOT, Charlotte Department of Transportation, and NCDOT, North Carolina Department of Transportation. We're seeing the public hearing going to City Council on approximately March 20th, 2023. So this is still a few months out. From there, the petition will go to Zoning Committee. Zoning Committee is a board of appointed commissioners here in the city of Charlotte that will review a zoning petition and provide a recommendation vote back to City Council. From April 4th, we'll be going to a City Council decision on or approximately about April 17th of 2023. And from there, the site plan will be moving to a land development permitting document process, which will take a few more months. But from there, that's essentially the petition that's being proposed here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and open it up to any questions. I'm going to check and see if we have any questions that have been posted in our chat. I do not see any at this time. I believe we have a few people from the community here tonight. So at this time, if anyone from the community would like to open it up to any questions that they may have regarding this petition, we can go ahead and do that. All right. Well, at this time, not seeing any questions, not hearing any questions. I think we'll go ahead and conclude our community meeting tonight for City of Charlotte Zoning Petition 2022-070. We greatly appreciate everyone's time tonight showing up. And if anyone has any questions at all regarding this zoning petition, moving forward, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, Paul Pennell with Urban Design Partners. You can reach me via email at Paul, that's P-A-U-L, at urbandesignpartners.com. Again, that's Paul at urbandesignpartners.com. Also, we've been recording this meeting tonight, and in the coming days, we will actually be posting this recording on our website at www.urbandesignpartners.com. Along with this presentation, you'll be able to go through, the public and community will be able to go through this presentation, review what was discussed tonight, review the presentation, actually download a PDF copy of this presentation as well. So with that being said, more than happy to answer any questions in the future regarding this petition. But again, thank you so much for attending tonight's virtual meeting for City of Charlotte Zoning Petition 2022-070. Have a nice evening, everyone. Thank you.